what stands out to you here? Investors are giving a warm reception to this
really
one.
nice numbers. Top line beat. They missed on the top line in the last quarter, so that was a nice sign for them. And I was struck by the average revenue per user figure, right? The amount of money that they're making from the active user base. I calculated on a monthly basis, that's about $11.60, something like that. So, you know, people are talking about what is your data worth? It's worth a lot of money. It's about what a Netflix subscription costs or a Hulu subscription in one of these like streaming services. I agree with Julie. I think it's important to point out in the US, Canada, daily active users have flatlined. They have not grown that user count in the past 6 quarters, right? So average revenue per user is going up, but the user base, the most valuable base, which is US and Canada, that hasn't really grown. So that just what does that mean from a ground level? You're just seeing more ads in your timeline, right? And I think they're probably testing how far they can go with that. Also, Instagram. I think there's more upside for them in terms of how many more ads they can load into that system. But that's where, you know, we want to start looking carefully, right? Because users might flee that if it gets too annoying.
Yeah, and Europe is in a similar camp to the US in terms of that monthly active users. The growth in the numbers there is coming in Asia, which is much less profitable. To that point, Mike, how do people think about what valuation to give this stock and whether it's a growth stock? Does that depend on the revenue or does it depend on the users?
Mostly depends on the revenue and the earnings. And I think that by almost every definition, it's a growth stock. The real question and the reason it's down from over 200, you know, to recently in the 140s as a stock price is, was something going to come along to halt that growth trajectory, right? Regulation, difference in business practices, how much they might have to spend in order to comply with their own or somebody else's version of how they should be handling data. So I don't think it's ever changed in terms of the financial metrics being a growth company. It's just a matter of what the multiple you were willing to put on that based on how long that was going to last.
So Kevin, you're an owner of the shares. Are you surprised at all, though, to see sort of lack of more fallout from all the scandals and controversies in the actual numbers, given Wall Street's worries last year?
Well, I guess relieved as someone who holds the stock and still a bit mystified as just a citizen. But, you know, it's a really terrible PR narrative, but that's all it is as long as those daily active user numbers hold steady and maybe even creep up a little bit. Right now, you've got two really disconnected stories. The business is healthy and it's growing, and ARPU is going to trend up, and it's got some terrible PR, and it doesn't seem to be hurting it right now.